So let's talk about property. This is, a bit of a Kiwi obsession. What are the ways to invest in property, say, outside of buying a house you live in?
Coffee.
Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
Right, good question you asked. Property's a very emotional subject and one that's very dear to New Zealand's hearts, and a subject that we find interesting when a client walks into a financial advisor's office, because often they'll come in with some money to invest. They won't come in with their house or their investment property, but generally speaking, people will be living in their own owner-occupied home, or they've got their own investment properties. What we put together is taking a holistic approach. We try not to give them more property that they've already got, particularly New Zealand property. So we don't specifically allocate property as an asset class in our portfolio structures. From time to time, we will add something called an exchange-traded fund in global property. So you can actually go out and buy an instantaneously diversified portfolio of global property companies on stock markets all around the world in one fund, and you can just buy that. And from time to time, if we think the property cycle is in our favour, then we will add that to the portfolio structure. And it adds a nice complement to all of the other asset classes.
It's a very complex thing, this, because I don't think anyone thinks about buying global property, right? No one thinks about that, do they? Or what about a young couple who are just trying to get in? If they have a deposit, should they buy a house or should they get into come to an advisor?
Yeah, well, that's an individual choice thing, and that's something that a financial advisor would need to speak to them individually on a case-by-case basis. But we find that, generally speaking, property has been a great asset class over time. And the best thing about property is that it forces people to take a long-term view of their investments, which is one of the core things that we keep emphasising all the time. It allows time and patience to work its way through. It allows the property cycle to go through its inevitable little speed bumps from time to time, as it does. And so they're committed to the long term. And the other good thing is that often when people get into property for the first time, they take out a mortgage. So they're leveraging into property and taking advantage of the other core principle that we find is that property will do better than cash in the bank over time. So if you borrow at the cash rate and invest in property and let time look after itself, you should make some money out of that.